Vegan Men's Podcast, episode number 3, interview with Emilia. It's starting to heat up.
Welcome to the Vegan Men's Lifestyle.com podcast. Your weekly vegan motivation recharge, fitness, nutrition, women, relationships, business, travel, and more. Listen up. Your host.
Welcome back to Vegan Men's Lifestyle, episode number 3. Today we're joined by a very special guest by the name of Emilia. I first saw Emilia on her YouTube channel, which, by the way, is very informative. One of her videos particularly caught my eye. It was called Sex and Veganism. So, as you can imagine, I watched that and then proceeded to watch every other video that she has on her channel. Welcome to the show, Emilia. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me on short notice as well. That's so cool. So, Emilia, so you're a certified nutritionist, right? So that opens up a whole lot of questions. When did you go vegan?
I went vegan about 2.5 years ago, but at that point, nutrition wasn't a big part of my concern for going vegan.
Okay, were you a nutritionist or training to be a nutritionist before that, or was it a decision after?
I had always been passionate about nutrition. I grew up on nutrition and with a nutritionist. My dad is, I guess, a nutrition guru, but self-taught. So I always followed that path. And once I became vegan, I kind of honed in on plant-based nutrition.
Plant-based nutrition. And as a professional, there's so much stuff that gets thrown around, so many memes, so many Instagram posts about different aspects of nutrition and what's good and what's not. 100%, do you think a vegan diet is lacking in anything? We'll talk about B12 or whatever afterwards, but besides B12, do you think it's lacking in anything? Honestly.
Absolutely not. I do not think vegan diet lacks in anything as long as you are educated in what you are consuming and how to consume it. We were brought up on a meat-eating diet, so we are used to consuming animal proteins, which have most of the nutrients that we actually need. But why does that cow or that chicken have those nutrients? Because they eat grass. The same reason why how we can obtain these nutrients. It's unnecessary to actually consume an animal to get the nutrients that you need to grow strong and be healthy.
Cool. And the B12, any thoughts on that? Why there's so much stuff about that being lacking in the vegan diet and whatnot? Is it true? Is it not true? If it is true, does that mean that we shouldn't be vegan? Perhaps?
Primarily, I feel that the whole B12, the whole calcium, iron, omega-3 situation, it are these big industries, the meat and fish industries, throwing that out there like, listen, meat has B12, so you need B12 in your body. But why does that cow have B12? Because B12 comes from the actual earth. B12 is a molecule that is found in the ground. The problem with modern day farming is that it's so sterile and there's so many pesticides. So when you do not eat organic food, you're not getting any B12. In nature, ideally, yeah, of course we'd be getting B12. We have an apple tree in our backyard. We pick that apple. Yeah, we're going to get B12. But for me, I get B12. I don't even take supplements. I get B12 from spirulina. It's a ground up algae. And spirulina has 200 and something % more than your daily value.
High in protein as well, I've heard.
Yeah, there's plenty of options, but eating meat is a very bad source of B12. And in fact, nowadays it's being fortified. The meat, the animal food is being fortified with B12.
Okay, and so that's So you think it's lacking in nothing? Have you felt the difference yourself in the 2.5 years? I mean, if you're a nutritionist, you're going to be healthy regardless. But you can be a healthy meat eater and a healthy non-meat eater if you're a nutritionist. Would you still feel that you've taken a step up? Do you feel better? I don't know, what noticeable differences have you? Yeah.
I definitely feel a lot better. One issue that I was struggling with was because being health conscious doesn't necessarily mean that you yourself are 100% healthy. It's just a kind of consciousness that you already have. But what you decide to put in your body, that's just something different. So before I went vegan, I ate a lot of a lot of dairy products, and as soon as I stopped those, I saw a change in everything. My performance got so much better. I got quicker. My recovery time was a lot shorter. I was able to gain muscle mass a lot quicker. Of course, you have to modify your diet a certain way so that you can obtain these things. But my circulation was so much better. Therefore, I was able to, jump 10 steps ahead at the gym or feel more energetic throughout the day and have sustained energy.
Cool. Interesting. That's exciting stuff, isn't it, when you see that happening? I can attest for that stuff myself. Just a quick sidestep here, just in case some of the guys are wondering where you're from. You have an American accent, but the way you say spirulina is like South American or something. So just for the guys who are wondering.
I am actually from Venezuela.
Ah, okay.
So yes, in South America. I do have an American accent because I lived a lot of my time. I grew up in Florida, but I also was taught English since like the day I was born.
Okay, you're going to have like an influx of guys checking out your channel after hearing this now, and you should, guys. So that'll bring me nicely onto the next kind of step. So obviously, the video that caught my attention on your channel was sex and veganism. That's out there, right? Controversial, sexy, kind of attention grabbing. So obviously I watched it, being a man, and there was a lot of stuff you said in that video, a lot of stuff that I would like to kind of dig into a little bit. So like you mentioned that there's quite a few things happen in regards to libido, testosterone, activity. I think the word lubricant was mentioned once or twice, which so if you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind listening to a bit what you have to say about that stuff. Maybe if you can just delve into what you said in the video a little bit, maybe go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, well, kind of obviously, everyone knows that, or people know or find out going into a vegan diet, is that by eliminating all of these high fat foods and saturated fats, then your circulation gets much better. Once your circulation gets much better, you have a lot less chances of any type of erectile dysfunction. You actually can lose a lot of weight, like I said in my video, which can lead to an increase in size. And as far as getting a raise in libido,
that's the size of your hand, guys, just in case they're worrying. Hand size.
Exactly. And as far as getting a raise in libido, the thing is with meat and dairy, there are a limited amount of nutrients. So if you think about it, like, where's your vitamin C? Where's your zinc? Where are your B vitamins? Where are your antioxidants? Those are what make your body function in an optimal way. So those are mainly the vitamins that will make your libido, go higher, are the B vitamins and the zinc. So you have more of a sex drive. Your endorphins. Also, you produce a lot more endorphins in your brain when you eat healthy and when you eat in a good way and you're feeling good. So, as I mentioned in my video, who can ask for more? You have more sex, you can have more sex, you have more stamina because your circulation is better, because you're not being weighed down by all of this junk that you're putting into your body. As I recall, when I would eat a piece of steak after, I wouldn't be able to move for about 6 hours. So, it's just getting that clean energy. And in the point in lubrication, that is mostly in women. Eating high volume foods is very important for lubrication and for maintaining that, because I mean most people eat on an omnivore diet a bunch of dairy and a bunch of meats. And where's the fiber? Where's the water? Our bodies are primarily made up of water. So we need to eat these high water volume foods to hydrate ourselves, fill ourselves with nutrients, and feel better. And that's what actually makes us feel so much better in the bedroom being vegan.
Mm-hmm. So even more incentives to try and follow this path and see what happens. Even I can attest to, well, not everything you just said. I mean, I can't attest to the lubrication part, but definitely you do notice some differences within a few months, I think. So yet more incentives, guys. So the next question so you're living in Florida, right? Most of the time. Now America is very progressive. I'm guessing there's a lot of I'm guessing it's not an issue if you wanted to date a vegan man or whatever. I guess it's not too difficult over there, right? Especially if you have a social media channel. Now, Europe is a bit different. We're a bit I'm not going to say behind, but it's slowly getting bigger and bigger. There's definitely less men as there is to women, and it's part of the reason why I started the podcast was to just provide a support platform for the men while they're going through this journey, right? So that being said, there is more women to men, vegan women to vegan men, but they're not that easy to find, You're an elusive bunch of people in Europe. I don't know about America, because they don't tend to be the type of girl that's down in the pubs or online, Tinder maybe, or anything like that, right? So, tips. What tips could you give to guys who have maybe followed this path and they're thinking, a vegan girlfriend would be a nice addition to this. It would be a good, solid way to progress with this. It would be great to share the journey with somebody who's got the same feelings, same ideas, same beliefs. Would you give any tips to guys who want to find a vegan girlfriend?
I would like to be able to tell you that I can go out one day and pick vegan guys off of a tree. That would be any man or woman's dream. Because, of course, ideally being vegan, you want to date a vegan, someone that has the same values as you. Unfortunately, that's not really the case. There are vegans out there, but what about compatibility? That's also a very important factor that plays in, because I can meet a lot of vegan men, but am I going to feel attracted to most of them? Am I going to feel like we're on the same, I don't know, vibe, I guess? No, that's not.
Yeah,
so
it narrows it down even more.
Yes, exactly. And it's very frustrating, but what I find is actually very rewarding, exciting, and, it makes dating a lot easier, is trying to find, or actually letting that person get to you, but trying to get with a person and get to know a person that's actually open to this lifestyle and open to change. Because I've dated guys before, and the minute that they're like, oh, veganism ridiculous, and I actually, because you can tell when a person is just going to be shut off from the fact and take you out on a date and eat a piece of steak in front of you, and you're just going to be like, well, what the hell? But you can find that person that's going to be like, oh, so you're vegan. Well, that's interesting. Tell me more. Oh, that happens, and those people that are susceptible to learning more and finding out more and understanding kind of why you're vegan, those are the people that are going to change. Maybe not from one day to another. There has to be patience, but it's such a rewarding feeling to be able to take someone's hand and guide them through such a rewarding lifestyle.
And how would you approach that? Let's say if a guy did have a girlfriend, she wasn't a vegan. What would be the first step, do you think, to kind of approach it? How would you introduce it to her? What would be a non-pushy way? Would you just drop Cowspiracy on her lap and run away or something? I don't know.
Probably not. Well, if you're first meeting the person, then of course you have to do like a little bit of digging right there. You know, you have to sort of be like, so yeah, I'm vegan. What do you think about veganism? So yeah, I do this because of the animals, because of whatever reason it might be for you, whatever drives you, your lifestyle, and see if that person actually engages with that and actually, goes along with it and tries to explore a little bit more. Maybe that person, you should try it. You should try like doing 1 day a week. You should try reducing it. It's actually great for you. You always have to give the person you always have to tell the person what to do right, not what they're doing wrong. Mm-hmm. The minute that you tell someone, oh yeah, no, eating meat is bad for you, they're going to shut off and they're not really going to like your lifestyle. And they're not going to care about your lifestyle. You have to be like, yeah, you know what? I feel great. I lost a bunch of weight. That's like a huge win for females. If you say, and my body changed, then they're going to be more open to it. If you're already dating someone, then taking them to an animal sanctuary, is very great. It's very beautiful. I've heard a lot of people, say my boyfriend wasn't vegan for like ever, and then I took him to a sanctuary and he was vegan on the spot. So that would be a really great place to take someone on a date, or taking them to like an orchard to go apple picking and being like, how beautiful is this? Like, I mean, we're eating, like we're being part of life, not contributing to death, and actually not so much of like throwing facts out there and being like, oh, did you know that you by you eating that hamburger, you're contributing to this, not necessarily. It's always, it's baby steps, it takes time. I was actually able to basically transform 2 guys that I dated in a short amount of time. And I was like surprised because, like people actually think that they're inspired by you when you're being vegan. And they're like, wow, that's great. You're vegan. So I'm going to try that. Because we are the inspiration, and we have to live by that inspiration in a positive way.
So as you are in the social media side of things, and you're pretty prominent in that, do guys reach out to you directly via message on Instagram and stuff like that? Because that is a good way to kind of find vegan people, and obviously sometimes there's going to be an attraction when a guy sees pictures and stuff. Do guys ever reach out to you and take a chance? And if they do, what are some of the best messages that you've got that guys listening can maybe copy and send to this vegan girl they like down in the local gym or something? Go on, give us the goods. Come on, Emilia, spill the beans.
Please don't message them first off. Wow, you're beautiful. That is the worst. Like I answer all of my messages. Most of my messages, the ones that I don't answer are the ones that are just hi and you're beautiful. Like, forget those. Don't even start. Women like to be, especially vegan women. Vegan women feel like they have, like this power in them, that vegan women are empowered because they feel like they're making a change in their bodies, in the environment, and for the animals, So women like to be intellectually stimulated. So I wouldn't approach a woman and be like, hey, you're beautiful, when are we going out? Like, no, forget it. Vegan women want to hear something more stimulating. So maybe find something in their account where where you can actually start a conversation. Be like, hey, I saw you posted about this recipe, like that's so interesting. I love eating that, but would you try it with this? Or have you tried it with this? Or I suggest you try it with that. Okay. So, actually, converse. And, but the ones that I've gotten, well, I get the ones that I normally get that are kind of, like cringing are when they say hi, beautiful, and then they send me like 50 pictures of themselves. All
right. Okay. So you're listening to this, guys.
Yeah, and the ones that say hi, I don't really even, give them a chance. If you want to talk to me, you can ask me questions and we can have an actually conversation, because women feel like automatically, vegan or not women, they feel like, like most men view them as pieces of meat. So, you actually get a hi or hi, you're beautiful. It's like, I don't care. My dad tells me that every day.
Yeah.
It's
right.
something more exciting, but nothing crazy. I haven't really gotten anything crazy yet. I hope to, because I'll publish that on my story.
Oh, definitely. Looking forward. Yeah, so don't start off with hi, you're beautiful. Nothing like that. Just for the guys, just like have a look down through pictures of the local girl in the gym or whatever. Find a hook, yeah? Find some hooks and use it. So for example, what would you say about okay, so you mentioned the recipe, right? So I'm just trying to give the guys here some literal tips that they can use to take away. Right? So they see a recipe that she put up. Hi, I saw your recipe. Did you ever try using it with lemon juice? Something like that, right? Is that something like that you mean to open up with?
Yeah. Or it can be like, oh, hey, I see that you go to this gym. I train there all the time. What do you think about it? What are some good training tips that you have for me? I see that you're good, like squatting. I hate doing legs, like all guys hate doing legs. You can make that up a great excuse. Women love doing legs. But yeah, it's just trying to get that hook of, oh, hey, I know you're vegan, or you're vegan curious, or you're very healthy. I'm vegan myself, and it really depends. You have to personalize it. I am transitioning right now. Do you have any tips for me? Or I see that you post about this, how do I look into getting involved if it's someone that's more in like the activist world?
Okay, that's great. And then how would you take it to the next step then, right? You like her. You've been talking maybe 5 or 6 messages back and forth. What's the next step? This is such a difficult thing, for guys. That it's good. This is why I'm trying to tease it out of you. It's important. and so many guys are just saying stuff like, "Hey, beautiful," la 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 la. They want to know, from a woman. So next step, how do you escalate it to want to grab a coffee or something? I mean, what would you think is the best way?
Well, if you hooked the person on it being a recipe, then you could definitely go for the, I eat at this restaurant all the time where they make my favorite this and that. Have you tried it? You want to go try it together sometime? I'd love to take you. I'd love to getting to know, because vegan men or women, regardless, are looking for more vegans or more vegan curious people or vegetarians or people that are progressing towards this lifestyle. So whether you are, you have friends or not in that group, we always want to expand. So just being out there and being like, hey, so there's this coffee place that I've been meaning to try, or there's this vegan restaurant, always try to center it around a vegan activity. Okay. Because that's why you guys are connecting, and that's very important. You're not going to tell a vegan girl, hey, let's go to the drink and let's go to a bar and have a drink, just because, and you don't, that's just like, I'm trying to get in your pants type thing. That's where a vegan woman, it's like, oh my God, I saw Emilia's video about sex and veganism. I got to try it,
All right. So sorry, you listen up, guys. I'm taking notes here as well for myself, right? So it's like, at no point should you say you're beautiful or sexualize it anyway. Do not really directly show intent. And I think that's good as well, You should definitely hold off until you actually meet the person. And then see for yourself if you actually think she's beautiful, if you actually like her, if you like the personality. You can't go by pictures. Too many people are doing that these days. So golden tips. Thanks very much. Now I'm actually going to use that myself. Guys, please don't directly message Emilia with her own advice trying to...
I'll know you.
That's just not fair at all. But it's a good way to see if she's telling the truth. I'm joking. So Emilia, I'm going to step it up a little bit right now, and feel free to dodge this question if you like. But how about your number one tip for men in between the sheets to satisfy a woman that they might not have thought about or seen on the internet already?
Ooh, I would have to go with coconut oil.
What? Coconut oil? I don't know about you guys. I didn't expect that
It's
answer.
the most vegan thing you can actually have. You put it in your body, you put it on your hair, you eat it, and you also use it in the bedroom. I'm not lying. Guys, listen out for me. Like most people don't even know this, but it's actually one of the things that it's the most natural and best smelling lubricant that you can actually get. But also eat veggies.
And that's totally safe.
Yes, it's completely
Outside
safe.
the body and inside the body.
Coconut oil is actually an antiviral and an antifungal, so it will actually protect a woman from getting any infections.
What? Okay. And on the spot, any other tips for guys?
On the spot, any other tips for guys?
Let's say to get things heated up. Maybe let's just say to instigate sex. Almost didn't say it there, but yeah, go on. I don't know. Can you curse on iTunes? Is that even a curse? Let's go. Let's just re-say this question. So, okay, thanks for that. Any other tips that you might have for guys? Let's just say for guys who want to instigate sex.
Instigate sex. So are we no longer on the vegan topic anymore, or?
It can be if I don't know if you've got like an idea about pumpkins or something for instigating it, but yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Instigating means to try to get sex, right?
To start to get things heated up.
I'd say. I always say take it slow. Guys always take things in such a rush, you know? It's like sex isn't a rush, and the more you actually stimulate a woman, the better she's going to feel and the more likely she is to have an orgasm. Because most guys don't really know this, but I guess I'm just going to say it for the ladies' sake, is that a lot of women don't actually really have orgasms. You know, it's like a lot of the times when a woman has a quote unquote orgasm, it's just to please the guy and be like, okay, yes, you made me orgasm. But it's actually a lot of the times it's not the case. You know, it's actually a scientific and known fact within the women community that it's hard for women to have, you know, orgasms. So my advice for that is take it slow, make it sensual, dim the lights, give a nice massage, and use coconut oil.
Get that coconut oil. Get a lifetime supply of it, guys. And get patient. Cool. Thanks a million.
Of course.
Vegan guys, right? I want to get onto like masculinity, and there's a lot of this stuff. Maybe I've kind of been doing this since 2012, right? At the beginning, you struggle with a lot of like masculinity stereotypes, meat is muscle, and all this stuff, and. You know, I still haven't told some of my maybe extended friends or family just to avoid the conversations, to be honest about it. Because I know they're not up to speed with it and I just don't have the patience to deal with the questions, the dumbass jokes and all that. Just the people who matter know, right? So guys who are kind of maybe could be still struggling if they're at the beginning of the journey about masculinity, what could you say to them? I mean, I'm guessing women find it an attractive trait in a man that he's not afraid to go against the majority and to face ridicule, face the jokes, face the protein jokes and the protein comments. I'm guessing women find that attractive. Would you agree that it's an attractive trait in a man to, you know, to be, I guess I don't want to use the word conscious, but at least an empath maybe?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Like, compassion is the most beautiful quality in a person. We live by morals and values of love, respect, equality, and compassion. But when we eat meat, we go against all of those. And, you know, like saying that, oh, I'm vegan because I don't want to participate in the suffering of sentient beings. I think that's so beautiful, and I think any woman, vegan or not, would love that.
Yeah, okay, so you heard that, guys. That's great. Another incentive. And, like, okay, so you've probably known more vegan men than anyone in Europe. I mean, there's not so many here, right? Let's say, do you actually see a lot of, are there more of the guys like really skinny and stuff over there in the States, the vegan dudes, or are the majority like average? Huge.
All of the vegan guys that I know are like macho, like 3 times my size, biceps the size of my head type thing.
Would you say that's maybe overcompensating for the whole masculinity thing that we just spoke about? Some of them maybe?
I think that a vegan diet gives you more access to actually gaining more muscle mass. So, I mean, if you look around Facebook, if you look around, the news, you can actually see that a lot of athletes are turning to a plant-based diet because their performance is getting better. Because, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, since you're getting better circulation, more oxygen is being pumped to your muscles so they grow. So as far as being masculine, as far as gains go and, being vegan, yeah, you can actually get a lot bigger going on a vegan diet. Because why? Because plant-based foods are so rich in nutrients besides just protein. Protein is important, but there are way more other nutrients that are essential for muscle growth and muscle development. I actually have another video called the top five foods for lean muscle. And you can see that there are other foods, like other important nutrients that are essential for muscle development.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of nutrients, you've got all these mock meats and stuff like that, and processed vegan food as well these days. Are they as bad as people say? I mean, they say there's a lot of like oily fats and oily stuff in the mock meats and stuff like that. Would you say definitely steer away from them, or at least get off them as soon as possible? Because they're really handy to use when you're substituting. Do you know what the word handy means? It means like it's like they're really useful. Would you say get off them as soon as possible, or are they you're not risking anything, are you, by staying on them for years, once a week or something?
I mean, I personally am a whole foods plant-based vegan. That means that I only eat whole foods. Whole foods is eating an apple rather than drinking apple juice, because there's a reason why it's called whole food, is because it's a complete food that has the nutrients essential for optimizing the nutrients inside your body. So once you take out the fiber, like you take it out in an apple juice, your body doesn't have what it needs to process the sugar and turn the sugar into energy. So that sugar is just going to turn into fat. The problem with mock meats is that there are a lot of added oils. Oils aren't as healthy as people think that it is. That tablespoon of olive oil, that is, like a myth from like the Greeks of how to be healthy and have beautiful skin. That's a myth. Oil is like a bunch of olives being pressed together. There's nothing very natural about that. We are natural beings. So trying to eat as whole foods as you possibly can, then yeah, it's great. I always recommend people when they're starting off not to rely on substitutes like vegan cheese, like vegan mayo, like mock meats, because you're just trading one bad habit for another one. So it's just better to rip off the Band-Aid. And if one day you're craving that, chicken tender that you've been working so hard at the gym to eat, of course, mock meat chicken tender, then, go ahead and have it. Life is also a balance. It doesn't mean that you have to be black or white. One day you can go a little bit gray and have your mock meat chicken tenders while you watch, your favorite show, I guess, on Netflix. Life isn't about just being completely strict, but I do suggest that if you are becoming vegan, or you already are vegan and you eat mock meats every single day because you're replacing meat, that is not the best way to go, because there's so much gluten and so many oils that you're just going to bloat up, and that muscle that you're gaining at the gym, it just looks bigger, but that's just water weight making your muscle look bigger.
So as a nutritionist as well, I mean, all these documentaries that are so fascinating, and geez, I can really say that I kind of went vegan because of these documentaries like Cowspiracy, What the Health, Food Matters, and all that stuff. I'm guessing you've seen them all as a nutritionist.
Yeah.
Would you say that all the 90% or 80% or whatever percentage they're throwing around of diseases could be related to diet and food intake, Western diet, etc.?
Well, I know that you're in Europe, but like Europe, I think the Western diet has overpowered, and the diseases are pretty much equal within Europe and the United States, or the American side of the hemisphere. But yeah, so the top 10 leading causes of death in the United States, which can probably, be reflected in Europe and in South America. The top 10, 7 of them are preventable with a plant-based diet. And the 3 that aren't preventable are suicides, accidents, and influenza with ammonia. So, I mean, those are kind of obvious that you can't really prevent with a plant-based diet, even though I believe that suicide can actually, be lowered with a plant-based diet, because eating a whole foods plant-based diet gives you a lot of better nutrients to maintain, your mental health along with your physical health.
So you've seen firsthand people with 100% reversals of one of those 7 illnesses that are apparently irreversible. Firsthand, person to person?
Yes, definitely. I actually met a woman in New York that she was able to reverse her stage 3 cancer. The doctors were telling her, you need to, prepare your funeral because you only have a few months to live. A friend of hers suggested a plant-based diet, and she tried it because she thought she had nothing else to lose, and it turns out it ended up saving her.
For what any other tips that you would give vegan men, let's say, who might be struggling with their identity, if that's the right word, but like struggling with let's just say they're having a little bit of like falling off the wagon moments where they're feeling a little bit alone, and let's just say they got some bad comment from a girl on a date. She's like, oh my God, you're a vegan. Oh God. I mean, I can attest to that. I was in San Diego a couple of years ago, and I was on a few dates with a girl, and I kissed her, and she said, oh my God, I can't believe I just kissed a vegan. Like with a negative intonation, might I add. And I was like, okay, you're cut. You're gone. And that was like, maybe I was a bad kisser though. I don't know. But no. But I was shocked. I was like, Jesus, what do people think we are? We're not like some sort of cult or something, or it's like we're not this cultish extreme movement. So like for guys who might have got a bad comment off a girl, or maybe got made fun of by somebody, what would you say to them, just to keep them a little bit of motivation, maybe?
Guys, any girl that will say to you, oh my God, I can't believe I kissed a vegan, in that negative way, or will just be like, why are you vegan? And just say things to put your lifestyle down, is no girl worth dating. I mean, we vegans already know that there is something bigger than us, and we do need to participate in being a global citizen. And how are we a model global citizen? By participating firsthand with the violence that we can control, that starts with our plate. Any girl that can't see that is not worth your time. And when she does see that, eventually she's gonna be like, oh shit, I just let that really cute guy go, and now I can't find any other vegan guys.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an awkward moment, all right. And I would say, as advice from my point of view as well, don't be reactive to that as well. That was, I mean, I was a bit shocked, so I couldn't react. But if I wasn't so shocked, I might have been a bit more reactive. So maybe it was a good thing that I was shocked. But I would say, don't be reactive. Just say, well, look, I guess we just don't see eye to eye then, and have a great night. It was cool hanging out with you. Lay him down softly.
Yeah.
And okay, last question. This is what I want to start asking people as well, and it's a bit random, but whatever. I just like talking about this stuff. Emilia, what's it all about?
What's a what?
What's it all about?
What's it all about?
What is it all about?
I think it's all about trying to be the best person that you can be. There is, I guess, this cliche of be the change that you want to see in the world, but that is such a beautiful and true statement. You know, we do live on this earth. We do have the gift of life. We have the gift of the beauty of nature and the being able to connect with other beautiful beings, whether they're humans or animals. So why are we going to try to destroy that firsthand with the violence that we're causing from our plate? We always have to try to be the best person that we can be. And by doing that, we are actually, inspiring other people to do the same. So we're actually, it's kind of like a domino effect. You're vegan. You have this consciousness. You're trying to live up to the highest standards of a person that you can be. Of course, nobody's perfect. We mess up. Sometimes, we do things and we're like, oh crap, I shouldn't have eaten that. I didn't know it had dairy in it. But you know what? Whatever, life goes on. We learn from our mistakes and we grow. But when people see that within us, they want to be like that, and it's very inspiring, and it's also very important. So if you're vegan out there and you're listening and you are learning things that are affecting negatively in the world, you do your best to try to stop it and participate in the betterment of our planet and the future.
Nice, very motivational. That was great. And what would you say, I'm going to go even more random, what would you say life is about? Why would you say we're even on this planet? Why would you say we're even on this planet that's in this crazy galaxy, in a galaxy supercluster, in this infinite universe? What's it all about? On the spot.
I think that that's actually a great question. I love to ponder that question all the time.
I like to catch people out with this question.
Yeah.
Put them on the spot.
Grew up with my mom would always tell me, we are here to leave a positive mark. So I think that we are here to actually contribute in the best way and the most positive way. I don't know, maybe you guys out there listening sometimes feel like, well, I think I have a higher purpose. I think it's because, I think we are designed to feel like we need to do something more, because what's more boring than living your average life, going to work, going to sleep, going to work, going to sleep, so that you can buy the latest iPhone. That's just such BS. Like who can live like that and actually be truly happy? Who is happy doing that? No one. When you actually go and out there and you do something for other people, you feed people that are hungry, you go rescue an animal or whatever it may be that actually motivates you to help others. That is the most rewarding feeling that you have ever that you could feel ever. More rewarding than buying a new car or getting a new iPhone. That's just, I feel like that feeling happens for a reason. It's because we are here to actually better the world, and how do we better the world is by bettering ourselves.
Nice. So we're here as part of a greater purpose type of thing.
Yeah.
And would you believe in life after death? Would you believe in reincarnation? Like we could be reincarnated as animals or something, for example?
I think that our souls reincarnate. I definitely feel like I have lived several lives just because sometimes I do things and I'm like, how did I know? How did I know to do this? I'm like, I have very strong intuition. But yeah, I do feel like our lives are recycled and we do come back with people from within our lives. Like maybe my mom was my sister in my past life, or was my brother or my best friend, I'm not really quite sure what happens, but it's part of the cycle, I guess.
It's really cool to think of it, and that's why I asked the question. It just kind of gets people out of their Monday to Friday type of thing, you know. And but Emilia, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to ask you something now, and guys, this comes with a disclaimer. The disclaimer is you're not to direct instant message Emilia under no circumstances, unless it's about a food recipe, okay? Emilia, where can guys hear more about you and find out more about you and what you have to teach?
Well, I do have an Instagram at My Vegan Daily, exactly how it's written out all together. My YouTube channel is a great resource for that infotainment, you know, short 3 to 4 minute episodes on sex and veganism, masculinity, the psychology of why we eat meat, and more. And I also have a website called myvegandaily.com, and I have a blog called Get Physical. And I write about anything related to the physical self, with focus on a plant-based diet. So nutrition, fitness, tips, and all of that good stuff.
Lovely, jolly. Okay, thanks very much for joining us, Emilia. Have a great evening. Adios.
Thank you.
So there you have it, guys. Thanks for joining us on episode number 3. I hope you got some golden quality content out of that. I certainly did. I will leave a link in the description of the podcast on the website for you to check out Emilia's social media platforms, see what she has to offer. Guys, don't forget to download next week's episode, and most importantly, get outside, get that fresh air, get that 45-minute walk in. And if you haven't done so already, you're more than welcome to join the Facebook group Vegan Men's Lifestyle. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, and see you guys next week.